friends, family, salutations, tidings of great joy. My name's Eric, Guru, coming at you today with another video on wholeness. Uh, this is the second video. This is Wholeness Part 2. The first video was really more of a roadmap exploring non-resistance, self-acceptance, and how reclaiming wholeness engenders an inspired and impassioned sense of action. Some more juicy wisdom and sharing entails today, but I encourage you to watch that first video I just posted on wholeness before watching this. So I feel like the download about wholeness is incomplete if we're not speaking yin and yang language here, both. It's not just about being in suffering. It's not just about accepting the less glamorous parts and embracing fully the shadow and the pain and suffering, but it's also about embracing the magic and the wonder of life, right? And hopefully we are able to make as much peace in this life as possible and embody as much of the energies that are coming in as possible in our lives, whatever that may look like. So wholeness, wholeness, you are already whole, as I said in one of the other videos. So this wholeness thing, right, seems to be linked to a depth and potency of presence. Now there are a lot of things that get us stuck where we're not able to be as present, right? In Buddhism, they call it either dukkha, which is suffering, or klesha, which is poison, right? Which is usually like a craving or aversion, some form of aggression, which makes our world very small, right? Today's discussion is going to be more about connecting with the techniques of ecstasy, the exploration part of wholeness, that once we're able to embrace some of our dukkha or kleshas, we're able to move into deeper techniques to actually move into something that feels more balanced, just something that feels a little bit better. And some of these techniques are akin to walking into presence. Now, how we walk into presence essentially can be a very gradual thing, kind of like walking into presence, right? Very slow and subtle. Or it could be being blasted off into a rocket ship to the center of our truth, just depending on the techniques, right? So, for example, one technique for exploring more ecstatic states, or just moving through some of the less glamorous states we were exploring in the earlier video. One technique might be taking a consciousness expanding agent, an entheogenic plant medicine, for example. Another technique could be fasting, making sure that you're not eating for a number of hours. That can also change the state of awareness. There's physical postures. There's different breathing, transformational breath work, holonomic breath work, techniques that you can be utilizing to transform and move consciousness. There's different visualization techniques. There's guided meditations you can be doing, sleep deprivation, the list goes on. There are a number of techniques that many people are using to feel the God essence of our reality, of our wholeness more purposely and presently. And what that really entails is engendering and becoming strong in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts, and in our souls. there is a deep, deep magic that starts to unfold and awaken. Kundalini awakening is a phrase many people have connected with or heard throughout the years. But there is a magic that begins to unfold when we're connecting deeper within ourselves and engendering this sense of self-love through some of these techniques. Now, shamanism, as you know, I founded Shamanic Tonic, so it implies a deep sense of sacredness and intimacy for me personally with shamanism, which I started that journey a good 20 years ago, exploring shamanistic techniques before it was even mainstream, before a lot of people I know were even born. So, but some of these techniques of divining, of communion, of moving deeper into oneness, techniques of ecstasy, these all require a lot of unlearning. They really all require a lot of undoing the programming that we've either put on ourselves from others or we've just inherited from the collective, what have you. Because the reality is, as mentioned, we're already whole. And so what we need to do is deprogram the mind. And we need different techniques. The ideal eventually is to transcend all techniques, but for now we do need techniques to get there. So what is required to feel into these states of ecstasy, these states of bliss, the states of oneness, expanding the consciousness out from the small world of the ego and suffering into the world of your greater self, your higher self, your soul self, your God's source, your soul code. It requires a willingness to dissolve, requires a willingness to receive, and it requires a willingness to restructure your reality. Okay? Now there's a really interesting thing when we're talking about hyper-connected states. Ken Wilber, he's the founder of integral theory, has a few beautiful frameworks that I'd recommend you connect with if you have some time. But one of the beautiful things he talks about beyond his states and stages of consciousness is this concept of a holon, right? So you could see yourself, you could see your friends, family, everything in the universe as a holon. It's already whole, but it's also an individualized unit. So this is happening simultaneously, right? So this is a good framework for understanding wholeness, because we are all one. Cliche has been used many, many times, but to put it in a practical framework, you could see yourself as the oneness, but still needing to do the necessary work to really feel into that oneness and express it and explore it in a way that feels good, right? So if we're already whole, the universe wants us to embody and resonate fully within that holon, right? Using this framework. It's a matrix. It's different energies and circumstances and situations that we're uniquely given to express, to explore, to dive into through the quantum field of consciousness. And here's the thing, if we're connecting truly with this material within us, if we're truly alchemizing some of this material within us, sitting with the coal and the ashes of our emotions and mind, and transmuting that into gold, alchemical gold, existential gold, if you will. We're doing that not only for ourselves and vibrating a frequency higher, not only for ourselves. Everything is energy, frequency, vibration, matter is just energy. E equals MC squared. If we do that for ourselves, we're doing that for the entire collective. And this is actually how butterflies are born. There are these specific cells in that cocoon, in that globulous unknown thing, which is no longer a caterpillar and no longer a butterfly. There are particular cells called butterfly cells. And so these cells start to feel the transformation and possibility of what it means to be a butterfly. And so one cell will turn on, everything's globulous. No, we don't know about that. We're not sure about the butterfly thing. Well, then a few other cells are sure. So they're like, okay, yeah, butterfly cell, butterfly cell. Soon enough, the butterfly cells start to overtake the glob, and this cohesive resonance begins to happen. The butterfly is born. The DNA starts to change. A miracle happens. So my encouragement in exploring wholeness is to really feel into this possibility that you are a butterfly cell, not only for yourself, but for the collective. It's really important that we're following our intuition, we're following our hearts, we're following our curiosity, and really feeling into curiosity, because there's something about curiosity I found in my experience that even if we're unsure of certain circumstances or situations, or we're still exploring and feeling into resistance in certain circumstances and situations, if there is this curiosity, feel into that. I'd encourage you to explore your curiosities about life. Yeah? So be curious, be present, and follow your joy. Any truth that you connect with, follow that. And also importantly with wholeness, just as in the first video I was talking about exploring some of the pain and suffering and being able to receive that fully and let it go, the same must be true. The same must be true for your joys, for your passions, for anything that is true for you, to receive that fully and also let it go. That's a deep one. This is beyond the kleshas, beyond the dukkha's of aversion and suffering. So from here, we're just showing up in the world, we're radiating our truth, we're radiating our joy without attachment. It's a daily practice, right? So for me, sharing this information and being present to my gift, I'm not attaching to it. This is my first take making the video. Not really attaching to anything other than the energy behind it and the message that wishes to come through in this moment. Exploring wholeness, very important that we all get this, that we all feel into this, and distill our truth from whatever may be helpful for you here. So, my name's Eric. Thank you so much for receiving these words. Thank you for hearing me. I see you. May we connect and continue connecting. To our highest truth, our highest self, the highest good for all beings everywhere in this moment. May we all be fulfilled, awakened, liberated, and free. Aho. Thank you so much.